best dancers from across the globe are about to join me for the audition of a lifetime.
ABC Mondays. Do they have what it takes to compete and be the next Dancing with the Stars pro?
I'm here to win.
Nothing is going to stop me.
Our star judges will decide.
This is what hunger looks like.
It was 100% a wrong choice.
Robert Irwin hosts.
The next era of ballroom starts right here on Dancing with the Stars, The Next Pro.
All new Mondays, 8, 7 Central on ABC, next day on Hulu.
This summer, Prime Video takes you back before Legally Blonde, before law school, and into the world of Elle Woods in high school. Set in 1995, this Gemini vegetarian knows exactly who she is until her family moves from Bel Air to Seattle. Packed with iconic fashion, 90s nostalgia, and a throwback soundtrack, Elle proves one thing. Law school was hard. High school was harder. From the world of Legally Blonde, watch Elle, a new original series only on Prime Video. Watch now.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Listening to this podcast instead of doom scrolling? Smart move. Another smart move? Getting help from one of State Farm's 19,000 local agents when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Hey everyone, welcome to this edition of Spin, Shuffle, Skip on the There Can Only Be One podcast channel. All right, 2025 kind of hit us in the feels a little bit because we lost the one and only Ozzy Osbourne. And if you watch that Back to the Beginning concert and seen all these fantastic artists go up there and pay tribute to Ozzy and Black Sabbath, it was one hell of a moment. But before all of that happened, we got to hear artists celebrate Black Sabbath in their own way with Nativity in Black, a tribute to Black Sabbath. And here to join us, Lyle Robichaud is back on the show. Lyle, how you doing, man?
Someone's been in my room and taken my beers out of my room. Rest in peace to Ozzy. One of the best vocal stems that I have in my repertoire from the Osbournes. Doing great. It's unfortunate that we have to come together under such sad circumstances because Ozzy's gone. We now have an excuse to go back and look at a bunch of covers of Sabbath stuff and Ozzy stuff. So happy to be doing that, but sad for the reasoning behind it.
All right. Well, this tribute album, we've covered a couple of tribute albums in the past. Of course, we talked about Kiss My Ass, which was a tribute to Kiss. There are some fantastic tribute albums out there. And this one that came out October 4th, 1994 is fantastic. It was gold in the US. Megadeth's cover of Paranoid was actually nominated at the 38th Grammys for Best Metal Performance, but lost to the live version of Happiness and Slavery by Nine Inch Nails. Now, that nomination was actually Megadeth's 6th consecutive nomination in the Best Metal Performance category. They didn't win a Grammy until 2017.
That's crazy to think of, isn't it?
For Dystopia. But here's the kicker part. The one and only time that they won, for all the times that they were nominated, when they went up to receive their awards, what did the band play? Master of Puppets by Metallica. A song that Dave Mustaine himself didn't even have a hand in writing because, of course, it was on the Master of Puppets album long after Mustaine was out of the band. Now, he took it in stride kind of thing. But
that does feel purposeful, though. That feels like with all the people that work at that organization, that feels like it was purposeful. There had to be a Metallica fan in the booth, like giggling there. That feels like there was malice behind it.
For whatever happened there, full kudos to Dave Mustaine for the way he handled that. But I mean, there are some fan-freaking-tastic artists on this. Like, remember, this came out in 1994, and listen to this group of artists: Biohazard, White Zombie, Megadeth, Therapy, Corrosion of Conformity, Sepultura, Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee Iron Maiden, now we get to finally say, Ugly Kid Joe, Faith No More, and Type O Negative. 1994 basically cooked a bunch of metal for this album.
Yes, 100%.
Now, before we get into this, though, I have to ask you, How big a Sabbath fan are you?
Very big Sabbath fan. Obviously, I love Ozzy. I've read 2 books on Ozzy and 2 books on Black Sabbath. So I am a pretty big fan.
Now, a lot of this, of course, kind of focused on the Ozzy era of Black Sabbath, right? Obviously, you also have the Ronnie James Dio era, which is in itself is also really good. A little bit later on, you get the Tony Martin era. You know, you have, I know, but funny story on this. The first Black Sabbath album I ever personally owned on cassette, and I still have it to this day, is TYR, where Tony Martin was actually the vocalist.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting because, of course, I was introduced to it like Paranoid. Somebody showed me Paranoid, the album. So I was just lucky enough to get like the original sauce, the original recipe on the sandwich.
But the thing is, I didn't pay for it. Now,
good.
I didn't steal it. Before you even start to think, oh, we should call the cops on this. No. Let me explain. So at the time, I had seen Slaughter opening for Kiss. And I had bought that, Up All Night, Stick It To Ya t-shirt because I thought Slaughter was cool at the time. Now, that shirt had seen much better days. It was already getting ripped and falling apart, basically. Like, it looks like the moths had a field day with it. But, of course, anyone who remembers the album cover for the first Slaughter album knows that it's a little risque. Now, a friend of mine at the time wanted that t-shirt because of the picture on the front cover. Just take a look at the front cover of that Stick It To You album. You'll understand. Offered me this Black Sabbath TYR album, which is actually pretty good, for this torn up, barely fit me at the time t-shirt. Of course, I made that trade. So I got my first Black Sabbath album by trading it for a beat up, ratty old t-shirt.
I'm looking at the Slaughter cover now. I understand what you mean.
Yes. All right. So let's get into this album. Lyle, your spin pick from Nativity in Black, a tribute to Black Sabbath.
All these legendary artists, and I went with one for my spin who I'd never heard of before this, because The Wizard by the Bullring Brummies. Who are these guys? Because this is amazing.
Okay.
I love this cover.
So let me explain who the Bull Run Brummies are. This is one of those groups that was put together for this, including Geezer Butler and Bill Ward, along with Rob Halford and Scott Wino Weinrich from Obsessed and St. Vitus. And
well, that makes so much sense as to why I thought this was fantastic then.
Yeah, so this is one of those super groups that's occasionally made for a project like this. But yeah, it kind of makes sense.
It's so good right from the beginning. Like, even the opening harmonica riff is just as good, if not better, than the original. I think it's amazing.
Yeah. Well, when you're going to have actual Black Sabbath members performing on it, and you're going to put Rob frickin' Halford on vocals.
One of the gods of metal at this point. I think of Godfather. He's like, now that Ozzy's gone, we'll go back. I think Rob Halford is up there as maybe one of the last true, honest to God rock stars left.
Quite possibly. Quite possibly. Rob Halford and Alice Cooper. I think you can put them in the same boat, especially because Alice Cooper is still touring today.
Yep, as is Rob Halford, at both at like older ages, but at both holding up sound wise as well, from what I've been told. It's a dying. I saw Ozzy leaving us as one of the last true like members of Mount Rushmore for entire genres of music going away.
Yeah,
like he really is.
I mean, if you made a Mount Rushmore with Ozzy Osbourne, Rob Halford, Alice Cooper, and Lemmy Kilmister from Motorhead, I don't think anyone would argue with that mountain.
Yeah, for metal specifically.
Mm-hmm. But I'm going with a song by an artist that kind of carries the torch of what Black Sabbath did. White Zombie's cover of Children of the Grave. Like, I remember getting this song on one of the best of compilations that Rob Zombie himself had put out. This song absolutely explodes. Like,
It is good. His voice lends very well to this.
mm-hmm. But the other thing too is, with all things zombie, you're putting in all these sound bites, all this extra production into it. And it feels like with all these newsread sound bites that's in there, it feels like the opening exposition dump of a movie that Rob Zombie himself would have directed.
It does. It really does.
Like if you put this at the beginning of some kind of Devil's Rejects kind of movie, totally makes sense.
Because I was listening to this, that's all I was thinking. Like, would this fit inside his movie universe? And it would.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It does it so well.
And yeah, I honestly think this song, this version of Children of the Grave, is better than the original Black Sabbath, probably because of that extra production work.
I think the Bull Ring Brummy version of Wizard, I will say, is better than the original, but I don't know. Children of the Grave that's classic.
It's good, but White Zombie slayed on it.
This summer, serve up the Cookout Classics, Heinz Ketchup, and Kraft Singles. Every good burger needs a layer of perfectly melty cheese and thick, rich ketchup. We all know it's not a cookout without Heinz and Kraft.
And we're live from the living room as Doug eyes up the match day spread. He's reaching for the buffalo wing. Perfect. Hang on, what's this? Oh, he's gone for a can of Pepsi too. Incredible. What a finish. Sensational combination. Look at the delight on his face. There's no doubt about it. It just tastes better. Match days deserve Pepsi. Food deserves Pepsi. Grab a pack of Pepsi Zero Sugar for today's match. It's poetry in motion.
Got a Sam's Cafe pizza order up. You know the best part about this spicy Italian sausage? I voted for this topping. Yeah, just another perk of being a member. Come join us. Sam's Club.
For my shuffle pick, I'm going with a band that's probably a little bit more underrated, given some of the big namers on this disc. Ugly Kid Joe. Now, before you sit there and go, oh, the I hate everything about you guys kind of thing, and no, not the 3 Days Grace one. But every time they put out a song, especially the ones that aren't necessarily singles, there's a lot of grit and there's a lot of punch behind them. Whitfield Crane, very much so one of those underrated singers that, you don't think about when you think about bands that came out in the 90s, but yet A, are still putting out music to this day, and B, solid vocals and hard rock, basically good bar rock kind of vibes.
Yeah, it's one of those things where every time I see Ugly Kid Joe, I enjoy it. I just don't go out and seek them much. Like, I'm not going out and like searching them up on my Spotify or buying a physical album, but every time they come up into my stratosphere, it's always really good and enjoyable.
Yeah. I mean, and I love the fact that they are still putting stuff out there. I mean, the stuff that they are putting out, it's almost like if AC/DC and the Black Crowes had a love child and put out something that was going to make you put the pedal down in the car.
Speaking of that, now I know Iron Maiden is coming into the Hall of Fame, and I know the Black Crowes are on the docket. I think they deserve it.
Right.
What my opinion is for. So anybody out there that has any power, come on. They totally deserve to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I think.
All right. For your shuffle pick, what have you got?
My shuffle pick was easy because it's kind of hard to not put Paranoid by Megadeth on here somewhere, right? Like, it's so good. It's so good. It was nominated for stuff, but obviously Megadeth is in their own right one of those like pivotal pillars of metal music. So I think to kind of leave them out of this conversation is both unfair and would be reaching at straws to try to come up with a different answer just for the sake of it. It's that the cover is also amazing, not just because it's Megadeth, but you can tell there's a lot of thought, a lot of feeling put into it. So it's got to be Paranoid.
I think we've had this conversation before because, of course, we mentioned that it was nominated for a Grammy. And yes, you can take a song and kind of turn it into something brand spanking new as a cover. But the fact that it lost to a live version, the thoughts on live songs as a Grammy nomination. I
don't think that should be a thing to me.
No,
unless you give it its own category. Unless you give like live recording a category, because I do think that immediately puts anything going up against it on the back foot, because live has a whole different energy to it than just on tape. So I think that's almost unfair. It's like making two weight classes fight each other.
I mean, I think there can be an exception made for something like, the MTV Unplugged albums, because it's an entirely different production. You take a look at Eric Clapton's Tears in Heaven from MTV Unplugged. That is, very much its own thing. The S&M album from Metallica, there's an album that was entirely a different thing, even though it's still a live album. Yes, there are some new songs in there, 2 of them to be precise, but it is a brand spanking new different thing. But it's just a regular, old-fashioned, loud and proud live album. I don't know if that's necessarily Grammy worthy.
Yeah. Like, unless it's in its own category. I think if you're going to consider them, they should be given their own category.
Now, if the song was never released before, but just happened to be one that was introduced live and first released as a live track on a studio album, okay, I can see that.
Yeah. I forgive me, I don't know the answer to this, but is Want You to Want Me by Cheap Trick, would that fall into that? Was the first version of that released? Was that not a live version?
No, it was originally released on a previous album, and the album version is different and doesn't have the energy of the live version.
Yeah, because that's what I mean. That's a really good example of, I think, if you put it up against something that was just recorded in a booth, it gives the one in a booth a disadvantage, because there's so much energy you can inject into something by adding that live crowd element, especially if they're super into it.
Yeah. All right, so now we get to our skip picks. So, of this collection of Black Sabbath cover songs, which one didn't make the grade?
Yeah, it's funny. They're just getting inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but I'm not a big Iron Maiden guy. So
I don't know if we can talk anymore.
And Sabbath Bloody Sabbath is one of my favorite Black Sabbath songs, and to me it just missed the mark here. I did, like, Iron Maiden's amazing, don't get me wrong, they are like groundbreaking. A couple of songs of theirs are really good. I do love Fear of the Dark. I think that's a really good song. Of course, The Trooper, Number the Beast, all that fun stuff. But yeah, this one just missed the mark for me. I think it's because I really love the song too. So I was hoping for like a really banging version of it. And it sounds kind of uninspired. It's one of the ones where it doesn't feel like there's a lot of heart into it like the rest of it.
Yeah. I mean, admittedly, this is Bruce Dickinson without Iron Maiden. Godspeed is actually the band that is backing him up on this one. But I'm kind of with you. I mean, Sabbath Bloody Sabbath is a fantastic song to begin with. For me personally, the penultimate version of that is Anthrax's cover on the I'm the Man EP, because Joey Belladonna being able to hit those notes. I mean, yes, Bruce Dickinson can hit any note he wants at will, and does.
And will, exactly, he does.
But Anthrax may be one of the best metal cover bands to begin with, because some of their biggest songs like Got the Time and Antisocial, they're covers. And Anthrax owns them basically, because
Which is crazy.
Yeah. But this cover of Sabbath Bloody Sabbath on that I'm the Man EP is stellar. And this is one that they had not released before on any of their other albums. So if you tell me this one's going to be nominated for a Grammy, I'd believe you on that one, because it was never released before by Anthrax. But yeah.
Which is nuts. They exist in such a weird gray area.
But yeah, no, this version pales in comparison even to the Anthrax version, and everything bows down to the Black Sabbath.
Of course.
All right, so I'm going to preface this one here. I'm not the biggest Biohazard fan to begin with. So the fact that they're on here kind of made this an easy pick. Their cover of After Forever, and it's also not a Black Sabbath song that I'm as familiar with.
Yeah, that's one of the ones on there that's kind of an odd man out for like,
yeah,
what's it kind of doing here?
It's just not laying a fire for me. And also, to top it off, this should not be the lead-off song on this album. The only reason why this should be the first song on this album is if you are listing the songs alphabetically, and that's it.
No, I've said it should be Paranoid. Paranoid should be top of this. Or it missed it by one mark. Children of the Grave could be up there too.
Oh my God. If you went Children of the Grave, Paranoid, and then After Forever, before you get into Supernaut, okay, you know what? That's a better lineup. But and we've talked about this before, the art of organizing and ordering your songs.
Yeah.
Exactly. This is not what you would start with. It's one of the weaker songs on the album. Vocally, just not cutting it for me. Energy-wise, it doesn't it doesn't meet the standard of what an opening track should be.
Yeah, I completely agree.
All right, well, let's remind our listeners what our spin, shuffle, and skip picks are from Nativity in Black, a tribute to Black Sabbath.
My spin is Wizard by the Bullring Brummies. Obviously, it's a supergroup. I did not know this, but it makes complete sense now because, wow, what a incredible cover. My shuffle is Paranoid by Megadeth, because, like, of course it is. And my skip is Sabbath Bloody Sabbath by Bruce Dickinson and Godspeed. It didn't hit for me. It did not hit for me.
All right, for me, my spin is Children of the Grave by White Zombie. My shuffle is NIB from Ugly Kid Joe. And my skip is After Forever from Biohazard. Lyle, thank you so much for this. Now, you got a podcast out there. The people need to hear about it. Let them know.
I absolutely do. I have Sabotage Everything contributing to the scene. It's a pro wrestling podcast I do with the tag team Sabotage, some legends from the Maritimes, Matt Connors and Justin Newhook. You can find that over at North Pro Wrestling on YouTube.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. And until next time, you know the drill. If there is an album that you want us to cover on Spin, Shuffle, Skip, or an artist that you want us to cover on There Could Only Be One, hit us up on social media at OnlyOneCast or go to our website at notthatbadcast.com. And until that next time, he's Lyle. I'm Jay. You guys are awesome. This is Spin, Shuffle, Skip on the There Could Only Be One podcast channel and a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Take care.
At ZocDoc, we know being a healthy adult is like living in a video game. Every day has side quests, taxes, laundry, birthdays. And just when you're leveling up, you have to book a doctor. The insurance portal crashes. They put you on hold. Your doctor doesn't take your plan. Game over. We see you. So we made booking a doctor easy. Download ZocDoc. Search by specialty, insurance, and availability. Book instantly. No cheat codes required. Find a doctor you love with ZocDoc.